Alright, what is good everybody, Quancredible here, and if you remember in my last review for Fortnite's The Apocalypse, I talked about kind of figuring out the power levels of the Holy Knights from Camelot, or the Holy Knights that we've seen so far in the series, to kind of get an idea of how strong Percival is. Now, I do want to do that in this video, but one thing I want to take note of, or not take note of, but make like very clear, is a lot of this is speculation, obviously, since we've only had a very small peek into what is going on in the overall series. So this is kind of just my opinion and my guesses on just what I've seen so far. So I'd definitely love to know how you guys feel about all this in the comments and your opinions on how strong people are. So yeah, so definitely let me know that down below. But so far in Fortnite's of Apocalypse, we've only seen 3 Holy Knights from Camelot. You know, that being Ironside, Talisker that we've seen recently, and Pelgard. And I guess if you want to count, you know, Percival's grandpa, you can, since he was a Holy Knight, but he doesn't seem like he seems way past his like prime, so I'm probably not really going to bring him up at all. And then obviously we've seen how strong Percival is, but he's not a Holy Knight. This is just comparing him to how strong they are. And one thing I immediately noticed from looking at their abilities is it's honestly not all that different from the very beginning of Seven Deadly Sins in terms of how, you know, how they seem extremely powerful. But when we get into the grand scope of the series, they probably won't be too crazy when we really get a look at it. Especially when you really consider that this is post Holy War, so that means that like what was strong in the very beginning of Seven Deadly Sins is obviously probably fodder to right now. So you have to assume that even people that would be considered weak right now are still extremely powerful. So to compare them to the Holy Knights in Seven Deadly Sins, I feel like the easiest way is to bring up the ranking system of the Holy Knights. I don't know if you guys know about it or not, but in the original Seven Deadly Sins, there was a ranking system to the Holy Knights from like top to bottom. So if I was to go in order, the very bottom would be like your Crystal Knight going up to Emerald, then Ruby, Sapphire, Platinum, and then Diamond. And then obviously like the Great Holy Knight would be like the leader of the Holy Knights. They would be like a decent bit above them. Obviously we can see the author was a huge fan of Pokemon because these are all Pokemon game names. But no, I'm sure that there's probably absolutely no connection there. But going from like the very bottom, and I almost forgot, the very bottom tier would be Apprentice Knight, but that's like shouldn't even be in this conversation. So I feel like the knights that we've seen now are more than likely on the higher end, being probably towards like Platinum or like Diamond. Maybe with Talisker possibly being lower than that, or maybe on the lower end of like Platinum. So just to give some context, Gil Thunder was a Diamond ranked Holy Knight. You know, Hauser, the one guy Denzel and Death Pierce, they would have been ranked Diamond, and kind of just Holy Knights of like their caliber. Honestly, the vast majority of the Holy Knights that we've seen in the very beginning of the series, such as like pretty much all of the fodder that we've seen up until the very end, was kind of just teetering in that lower like Ruby, you know, Sapphire range. They weren't really too crazy powerful. And honestly, I feel like if Percival were to go up against the vast majority of the lower tier Holy Knights, outside of their weird abilities or weird strategies that Percival might not be able to deal with, in like a pound for pound fight, he'd more than likely clap all of them. Like honestly, Percival really wouldn't have too much of an issue. Like take that one guy Ruin. He has that ability that makes people see like illusions when they hear his bell. I don't think that's a good matchup for Percival considering how he fights. So like that guy would give Percival a really hard time. But obviously, if Percival did find a way to break out of the illusion, or if his magic actually protected him from that somehow, he would have no issues. So honestly, Percival probably is on the upper tier scale of the Holy Knights when you really think about it. Like more than likely being able to beat Platinums, and probably would be more of a match for the Diamond ranks. Like as I said, would be the higher tier of Holy Knights. Now, before anybody thinks that this may be too soon for Percival to kind of be that high up on the ranking of Holy Knights, because that's what I was thinking when I was initially, researching this. But one thing that I do want to like get everybody to kind of remember is that the scale for ranking Holy Knights is very wide. Like Diamond rank being at the very top is a very large like gap, because like lower ranked diamonds would be Gil Thunder, and then higher ranked diamonds would be like the Seven Deadly Sins, like because they're considered or would be considered diamond ranked Holy Knights. So like obviously if you take like Escanor match him up against like early series Hauser. There's a whole sky. There is the difference between the freaking sun and the earth in between those two people. So it's one of the things where like Percival being able to contend with some of the diamond ranking knights isn't really all that crazy when you think about the fact that he wouldn't be able to touch any of the seven deadly sins, at least at this exact point. So that's something that I do want to take note of. So honestly, I feel like Talisker was definitely on that lower end. He might be like lower end diamond or maybe even platinum. Honestly, he honestly no, I'm not gonna snake him. I'm not gonna downplay Talisker. He was probably lower ranked diamond. Whereas Pelgard and Ironsight were probably higher ranked diamond, probably great holy knight status. And I really do feel this way because obviously Arthur is only going to have the best of the best serving as the Knights of Camelot. I don't really think Arthur's going to be sending too much fodder our way. Because I really don't even think Talisker was fodder like that. Percival was probably just a really bad matchup for him, considering how both of their magics worked. And obviously Percival's only going to get stronger from here. So yeah, so in the very near future, I am really excited to see what more knights Arthur sends to us, and kind of see if they even have their own ranking system. Because that's kind of one of the things I did enjoy about Seven Deadly Sins. I know some people like Rax. I know Rax doesn't like the whole combat class thing, but I thought the combat class thing was fine. So the fact that we have like a ranking system for knights and combat classes on top of that, I really hope they start incorporating one or the other, just to kind of give us like a scale. And like, well, I only want them to include it if the scale stays true. So hopefully it actually does. So down below, let me know, do you guys agree with me or do you guys disagree in terms of how strong you guys think Percival is, like in comparison to the Holy Knights? Like honestly, if you want it like really cut and dry, I feel like Percival's probably clapping every single Holy Knight, except for like Hauser and Guild Thunder probably would be a lot for him. Just because like they're really good at fighting, and like they're probably smart enough to get around just the initial hacks of his magic. But for the most part, a lot of the other random knights would probably just get clapped, including like Gila, Jericho, like all that kind. Well, it's tough to say how strong they are now. If they've gotten significantly stronger currently, then no. But I'm purely speaking from my memory of them in Seven Deadly Sins. Obviously, as I said earlier, the sins are out of the question. But probably, like I was saying, the line probably is right where Guild Thunder and like Hauser would be too much for Percival if you want it really cut and dry. So yeah, as I was saying, let me know down below how strong you guys think Percival is. Let me know if you guys agree with how I was ranking his strengths, as well as like Pelgard, Ironside, and Talisker. I am very curious to know how strong you guys think he is down below. That being said, make sure you guys like the video, so subscribe to the channel for more Four Knights of Apocalypse content. I may do a video talking about hero type magic, maybe tomorrow or in the very near future. Let me know down below if you guys want to see that. If not, I might just do something else. I don't know. But all that aside, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in my next video.